Okay, the regular board meeting of April 17th, 2025 is now in order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to be followed by a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Go ahead, roll call, please.
Mr. Buckton.
Here.
Dr. Kraus. Ms. Kroll.
Here.
Mr. May.
Here.
Mr. Menhart.
Here.
Mr. Pratt.
Here.
Ms. Shue.
Here.
Mr. Smith.
Here.
Mr. Sokol.
Here.
One absent.
Okay. Dr. Kraus, Mr. Kraus. Approve the minutes.
Approval of minutes.
Okay. Need a motion for that.
We need a motion to approve the minutes as
So moved.
presented.
Second,
Second.
any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
We have no unfinished business. We have no additions to the agenda.
Thank you.
We need the approval of the agenda as presented.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Remarks
Remarks from visitors.
from visitors. Yes, ma'am.
Can I speak?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Tracy McCann. I was hired for a custodial position here at Carmichaels. When I took the position, I understood it was a demanding job. I enjoyed my job and took pride in my work. Unfortunately, due to cutbacks, I was laid off in June of last year. Just since the new year, 2 custodians have retired, and I'm on tonight's agenda for custodial recall. So I am asking the board to vote yes to bring me back to my full-time position. I was never wrote up. I was always on time. The staff that I did clean for has complimented my work. I'm a team player that helps my coworkers when time permitted. I would love to be back at Carmichaels. Thank you for your time and giving me the opportunity to speak.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Franks. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not Ms. Franks.
That's okay. I will always answer to Miss Franks. Good evening. My name is Jessica Poppernack, and I'm a teacher here at the middle school. I wanted to take a moment to speak on an agenda item scheduled for a vote tonight, the resignation of our maintenance supervisor, Mr. Franks. I truly appreciate the opportunity to share a few words. Mr. Franks first became a Mighty Mike in 1969 when he entered the school district as a 6th grader. He completed his education here and proudly graduated with the class of 1974. He went on to become a well-known business owner in our community. Even now, I can almost always introduce myself as Dave Franks' daughter, and more often than not, I'm met with a story about something he built, something he fixed, or simply about what a great guy he is. Fast forward to 2013, I still remember the pride and excitement he felt when he returned to his alma mater to serve the community once again. True to tradition, as the saying goes, once a Mike, always a Mike. I joined the CASD family a few years later, and I've cherished every moment of walking these halls with him, proudly telling everyone who didn't know, that's my dad. I am incredibly proud of my father and everything he has poured into this school campus. Most will never fully understand the extent of his impact. Thousands of projects, repairs, custom fabrications, and countless hours spent walking the buildings, sometimes even late at night, to make sure every system was running as it should. Being his daughter means I've had the privilege of seeing all of this from behind the scenes. The photos, the sketches, the videos, and of course, the in-depth explanations of exactly why and how each part works the way it does. His passion for his work has always been clear. His contributions have been nothing short of remarkable, and we simply wouldn't be where we are today without him. Thank you again for allowing me to speak tonight, and for letting me to brag, just a little, about a man who would never do it for himself. Congratulations on your retirement, Mr. Franks. Carmichaels will surely miss you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hang on,
Good evening. I'm Cassie Menhart, Library Media Specialist here. I came here to support Jess, but I felt the need to say something too. Mr. Franks has been my neighbor. His office is right outside. I didn't realize since 2013, but so I feel the need to say a couple words. Mr. Franks, you know, we recognize his years of service to the district tonight. He always worked so hard to ensure our buildings safe and ready for learning. But I personally want to thank him for what he's done behind the scenes for our aviation program. We have been fortunate enough to have the equipment that we give students experiences in aviation careers, and you know, we can give them a little bit of an insight on what the aviation career is all about. But when you have a pilot on staff that is willing to come in when he can and help our students, it just took our program to the next level. So, Mr. Franks, I want to thank you and wish you nothing but the best in your retirement. And I hope that you'll continue to share your love of aviation with us as much as you can when you're available to help our students. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Menhart. Any other? Mr. Hess.
Good evening, and I apologize in advance for reading directly here, but for the sake of time, I didn't want to speak. I think I'll be a little too long-winded. But I want to appreciate the board for allowing me to speak this evening. I am not a resident of Carmichaels, but I've been a teacher, a high school and middle school math teacher in the district since 1999, and would like to say a few words. In addition to teaching since 1999, I have been the weight room supervisor since 2003. When I became aware that closing the weight room to the public was on the agenda for this evening, I wanted to come and share my thoughts concerning this matter. I believe part of the concern of the board is safety of the students in interaction with the public, and should not interact with the students. Over the past 22 years, I would say that there have been very few problems or issues in the weight room with regards to adults and student interactions. In fact, when I've observed both adults and students interacting during public hours, there have been nothing but positive interactions. If there is a monetary issue, I am not sure what has been discussed in any meetings, and if the board feels that the expense of monitoring the field house is too great, perhaps they could consider reducing public hours during the week from 4:30 to 6, Monday through Thursday, possibly closing Friday and opening Saturday mornings from 9 to 10:30 or 8:30 to 10 a.m. This would reduce the weekly monitoring hours from 12 hours per week to 7.5, and would be a 37.5% reduction in cost, coupled with potentially charging the community members a fixed fee per year to further offset this expense. I believe the board has approved a large sum of money to replace the current roof on the field house, and I would like to think that investment should benefit as many in the community as possible. There is a screening process in place to ensure adults have a key card and access to the facility and are limited to the access of the stated hours of operation. Almost 30 years ago, community members listed on the wall outside the field house made donations to fund the building expenses, with the intentions of it being shared with the community in the future moving forward. I've had the pleasure of working with 4 to 5 individuals who have monitored during the public hours over the past 22 years. If and when conflicts would arise in their schedule, I would occasionally monitor during the public hours, and wanted to add that this proposal to shut down public hours will affect many high school students who will often come in during the public hours of operation after other athletic practices, on Saturday mornings, and in the afternoons during holiday breaks when the school is closed and I'm not supervising. The community members are great individuals, many of whom I have taught in school and even their children in school over the past 25 years. This matter has burdened my heart to the point that I felt led to come and speak this evening. This is a great facility that has been utilized and shared between our students and community members to promote their own health, wellness, and mental well-being. and I hope the board would consider tabling this vote this evening regarding the field house and explore options to reduce expenses while still allowing the taxpaying community access during the posted hours of operation. Again, I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Hess. Okay, we have Mr. Ristoka on the agenda. He's not
I
making
think
it this evening?
the kids are on spring break, so I think that we're gonna push that, if that's okay.
Okay, that's fine. So that's, any other remarks from visitors? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Diane Smith, and I am a resident and taxpayer here in Carmichaels. I wasn't planning on speaking this evening, therefore I do not have notes, as you all know that I usually come prepared. But since I've listened to two people speak, I felt compelled to stand up here and say something. So about the field house, I remember one of the board members spoke about how it was the taxpayers that had built that. Now, I don't understand who maintains it, but I'm assuming that it's still going to need to be maintained if the students in the district are still going to use it. So why not, like Mr. Hess had spoken, somehow find a schedule that will work, that is safe for the community members to use, as well as keeping it safe for the children, whether they're of age or underage, that go here to the school district. I remember just within the last few months, not only were there board members that had spoken about projects taking place, but also being at meetings like, for instance, the new library that they're wanting to build down at Wannabe, that Carmichaels doesn't have anything. There's nothing here to offer people. But we do have something to offer for people, whether it's 5 people a day or it's 10 people or 20 people a day that like to use that free service as a member of the community. So I did not realize that was on the agenda because I did not do my homework and look at the agenda before coming here. But I would hope that as board members that you guys would consider what would be good for your constituents, the people that have voted for you, and for the taxpayers here in the district. The other thing I wanted to speak on about the young lady that had spoken about hoping to get voted to have her job back. I understand that you guys are making cutbacks and you're trying to do what's best for the school district. Keep in mind, there was just an instance where they had to do a spray down at the elementary school for a situation that took place. Not sure how that problem arose because there's a lot of things that are hush-hush about things. And something that I learned, which I was surprised about, because when my kids came to school, if a student had head lice or pink eye, there was a letter that was sent home to all of the students in that classroom just to inform parents to be aware and to keep an eye out to help stop the spread. It was brought to my attention, don't know if anybody can speculate on it or not, but they don't send letters home anymore. As a parent, I would like a letter to be sent home so that I can keep an eye so that my child wasn't bringing something home to me and possibly spreading it to the remainder of our family, whether it was pink eye or head lice or roaches found in a backpack or whatever have you. So moving forward, I hope that we're not making a lot of cutbacks where we're not going to keep the school district clean and sanitized and safe for the students, because ultimately what a lot of you all speak on is what's best for our children and the students that enter the building. So hopefully you guys all make the right decision, not only what's best for the school district and the finances here, but for everybody in the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Any other comments from visitors? Well, we'll check with the administration. I don't know about those letters now, but we will have an answer for you next month.
Thank you.
All right? Okay. Student representatives, Mrs. Dravecki.
They're on spring break, sir.
It's spring, come on, we're
And they
here.
just play baseball, I mean, come on.
Administrative reports.
Superintendent's report, Mr. Moorcraft has uploaded it to Board Docs. If you have any questions on it, you can contact him, not next week because he's on vacation, but the week after.
Okay. Mrs. Sacco's excused tonight?
Mrs. Sacco had an event, and her update is on the Board Docs as well.
Middle school principal, Mr. Poland.
Thank you, Mr. Manhart. I do want you guys to know, and the parents, when we get back from spring break, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we'll start a PSA testing with ELA into the next week, math and 8th grade science. We have a great man right there, Mr. Townsend. We've been working with him very closely. This is the first year in the middle school that we went online with testing. So we're hoping everything goes smooth there. I do feel we're ready for it going forward. Now, after testing, we have a lot of events planned in the middle school. I don't want you guys to think we're just kind of shutting it down. All these are educational. We have the Civil War Days, which Dr. Krause participates in. I would like to invite you guys all to the Wax Museum. That's always a good time for the sixth graders. Going forward with the middle school after testing, we kind of make sure the kids are in the building with attendance, and all these events that you'll see on my report helps with attendance, getting the kids here, and it helps keep discipline down because we do keep them active and engaged. Our demographics has changed a little bit with the increase of discipline. We've had some hard discipline this last couple months, and we've lost some students, and the increase of cyber is always something that I'm worried about here. But with that being said, that concludes my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Becky, senior high school.
Thank you, Mr. Menhart. We have concluded the scheduling with students in grades 8 through 11 for the 25-26 school year. Mrs. Panapinto and I went into the 8th grade classrooms, and then we met with 9 through 11 in small groups. I'd like to thank the very talented drama club and the production of the Addams Family musical. It was wonderful. I also would like to thank Mrs. Toback, Mr. McCombs, and Mrs. Panapinto. They helped organize the Career Exploration Fair, where we had members of the community come in and set up tables, and our students interviewed them and took away career evidence that are required for the state. I'd also like to thank Mrs. Thomas, Mrs. Menhart, Ms. Kinnisner, and Mr. Connard. They held a senior lock-in for our seniors this past week, and it was great. Nothing but positive feedback came from that. If you look at my report, which was also uploaded, there is a lot of upcoming events. My attendance has been pretty good this month. I think we got over that flu bug. We're at 90%. I have not as much discipline as middle school, wink. And I have finished all my formal observations. I've also included my walk list for the future graduates of Carmichaels. There's a couple of them that are asterisks, and if you read their notes, you'll understand why they're asterisk. But of course, we're working to get them to the final part of the stage. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Beck. Mr. Thompson, technology.
Thank you, Mr. Menhart.
Mr. Menhart, I have a question for Mr. Becky. Can
Okay.
I ask that now?
Yes, sir.
That's about our reports. Just real quick, I just want to rehash out the ranking system of the high school. I asked for the ranking of the grades for students the last meeting.
Yes.
And I didn't see it in my packet anywhere. Obviously, I've been away, but I might have missed it, I might not have. And I still haven't received the grades for our analysis from the first 9 weeks to the second 9 weeks. We're already into we're going into the fourth, and I still haven't received those either. So I really would like to have those so we can do an analysis to see where we're at.
Okay.
How we're growing, what we're doing, just good things. I really would like to see those rankings too, the class rankings.
The ranking reports I sent directly to Mr. Moorcraft, which I assumed he was sharing with you because it was an email. So I'm not sure why that didn't get shared. And I'm not sure what the grade analysis is.
I thought he emailed that as well. I'll have to ask him, but I thought he had emailed that a while ago.
I haven't seen any of it. Steve, have you seen it?
No.
Or John or anybody? I haven't seen any of that stuff.
I'll look. It was a while ago. I'll look tomorrow and see if I have it on my email. If I have it on mine, I'll forward it. If not, I'll send a note to Mr. Moorcraft.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Amy.
Okay, we good?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, Mr. Franks, I'm sorry.
It's getting Thank you, Mr.
We're
Menhart.
going to blow right by you.
That's okay. As Mr. Poland said, we're getting ready for PSA testing. We have 15 locations testing in the middle school, 4 locations in the elementary school. In the elementary, only the special education students are testing online. In the middle school, as Mr. Poland said, they're all testing online. I'm confident that everything's going to go off without a hitch, and that we have enough spare computers on hand to handle any issues with students showing up with not charged devices or computer malfunctions that might arise that day. It still is going to take the students' help with this, hoping that they show up with their devices charged, and that also they bring their chargers with them to school during that testing period. That'll maintain that their devices are fully charged and ready to go. I extrapolate more, but for the sake of time, if there's any questions, that concludes my report.
We have been communicating that to the students to make sure they charge.
We have a message on the dates on our sign outside, and then a message went home from Mr. Poland and Mrs. Sacco
Okay.
to encourage.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Franks?
Thank you, Mr. President. The seasonal maintenance changeover is happening on our grounds equipment, you know, where we take off the plows and the brushes and go to the mowers. And you've seen we already started mowing grass. The mulch, I'm going to do this in a bullet point for speed. The mulch is here and will be applied next week for around all the trees for graduation dress up. We had some pest addressed issues. 4/15 was the last visit from our exterminator, and the inspections and traps were checked, and we've had no further sightings or catching of any other insects. After the building treatment, I think we're pretty good. Snapshot of the repairs that have been completed last month. The bleachers at the elementary required some repair to the handheld wiring control for the pull-out in the morning and evening. That was taken care of. The freezer door had an element installed to prevent the cabinet door from freezing shut. High school corridor in front of the high school office had a water line, a corrosion problem. 2 feet of line got replaced in the ceiling, very little damage. The heating system has been checked and corrosion inhibitor was added. This is a normal thing that we do every year for the water chemistry of the heating systems in both buildings. Storage tank charge pump was replaced on the domestic hot water system in this building, serving both the high school and the middle school. We had a sensor that needed replaced on the high school dishwasher. It was involved with the booster heater. We restored that to operation. We're getting the stripping machines and the floor care machines ready. One needed a new drive coupling. It'll be ready well before we're needing the wax floors. The last thing on my notice here is that the project manager from G&W Roofing, this is involving the field house, was here twice, once on 3/31 and another time on 4/2. At that meetings, we talked about locating where the tear-off dumpster would be, the laydown area. And when he left on 4/2, he said that the lead time on the material was 2 to 3 weeks. And once he had the material ordered and was established that the order was placed, he would be calling me with an estimated start date. So as of this moment, I still don't know exactly when they're going to start. But it has been 2 weeks now, you know, so I'm expecting him to get back to me. If I don't hear from him Monday, I'll give him a call again. But the 3 weeks lead time on the material seemed reasonable. Just in general, we were going to put the tear-off dumpster on the elementary side of the field house down at the bottom of the steps, and that would keep it all contained pretty tightly. And he felt that the new material would not require any lay-down area down below. We'd just bring it all up to the roof and put it on one side of the roof, and they'd do half at a time. So it'll have a very low impact to the area around the building, but at the time, once they start, the field house will be off limits until the job is completed. And that would take somewhere over 2 weeks, is at their estimate at this point. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Dave, is there any way that we could keep that place open for the boys and the girls, just to get in and out for, I mean, those guys would probably be gone by then. I'm just asking if it's possible.
You mean just the bottom floor of the locker room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
John, I can do that if you'll let me explain real quick. I can build them tunnels, John. I have the scaffolding for that, 20K scaffolding with overhead protection that we do in buildings that are being worked on. Because there's going to be a 15-foot around the building. It's a no-access perimeter is what they'll have to have. So, we can do that. It's up to you guys. If you want to, I can have my guys come out and do it. I'm not gonna charge you for it.
Dave, could you touch base with the contractor to?
I can definitely bring that up, and they're going to have the roof watertight every night after they leave.
Okay.
So that in itself is not going to be a problem. And after they leave, a protected area to the downstairs would be a very fine option.
Okay.
And I will definitely bring that up to the construction manager, and we'll discuss it, and I'll bring that back to you guys.
All right, thank
Just
you.
have them give me a call, Dave, if you would, or somebody, or you call me, Dave, and I can put those tunnels up.
No problem. I can coordinate that. Thank you.
Okay,
All right.
thank both of you.
Yeah.
Okay, Dave.
That's it. Thank
All
you
done?
very much.
All right, thank you, appreciate it. Okay, committee reports, Human Resources, Mr. Sokol.
Thank you, Mr. Manhart. We need a motion to approve the sublist addendum as presented.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to accept the retirement notice of John Krysak, custodian, effective April 4th, 2025.
Do we have a second?
Second,
Any questions?
I have a comment.
Go ahead.
Don has been with the district for a long, long time. I hired him, he was a great guy. And it seems like I'm getting to say something about somebody every month here because my old guys are leaving. But I can't say enough about him also. Over the years, he went the extra effort, did a lot of welding for me. No matter what project I was into, John was always one of the first guys that I relied on to help me out. So I hate to see him go, and we're going to miss him. There's a lot of skills that we're going to not be able to replace, and just wanted to say that. John, great job, and I hope you enjoy retirement.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to approve second reading of policy 249, bullying, cyberbullying as presented.
Second?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to approve the second reading of policy 824, maintaining professional adult-student boundaries as presented.
We have a second.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to accept the retirement notice of David Franks, maintenance supervisor, effective June 30th, 2025.
Second.
We have a second. Mr. May? Any questions or comments?
I got something on that too. It's like I said, seems like everybody in the maintenance department's out the door here. You know, over the years, I've been very, very proud of our facilities. We've only had 2 maintenance supervisors since 1986 when I took the helm, and I was, you know, we were able to accomplish a lot, I always felt. And I always felt my shoes were fairly big to fill for the new guy coming in. But Dave was, he's been amazing. He not only filled my shoes, he took everything to the next level. And everything his daughter said about him was true, and I could see her for hours and hours and talk about the thousands of things Dave does that no one knows. And I want to thank him, and whoever comes in has huge shoes to fill, believe me. So, Dave, let's say that.
If I may say something, I just want to thank Mr. Franks. I'm here a lot because of athletics and board service. He's here on Sundays, he's here on Saturday mornings, he's here 7 days a week. You see the little white van all over campus. He puts so much time and he's invested so much in this school district. So Dave, thank you for everything.
Thank you, sir.
Jess, I can remember one time when we just finished the renovation, and I was in a hurry, and I went into a room and the lights wouldn't come on or go off, and I said, Dave, how do I turn these lights off? And I got the 10-minute, it's like, just tell me how to turn the freaking lights off, I gotta go. You know? So I totally understand. And Dave and I were here together in high school, and my joke with Dave is, you know, I was a dumb jock, and he's the smartest guy I ever knew, and I'm the freaking superintendent, and I'd say, you're a custodian, I'm the superintendent. But he left a job where he made $250,000 to come here, and that was, other than having Mr. May here, that was the luckiest day of our lives. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
We haven't voted.
We have voted.
Okay. I don't know, maybe we don't want to vote.
Come on, guys.
Roll
The
call.
old guy go.
Mr. Buckton?
Yes.
Dr. Kraus?
Reluctantly, yes.
Ms. Kroll?
Yes.
Mr. May?
Yes.
Mr. Pratt?
Yes.
Ms. Shoup?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Sokol?
Yes.
Mr. Menhardt?
No.
Motion to approve the memorandum of understanding between Carmichaels Area School District and the Carmichaels Area Education Association.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to approve the agreement with New Directions, a program offered by Chestnut Ridge Counseling Services, effective 2025-2026 school year as presented.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion to approve the tentative graduation list for 2025 as presented.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
No action necessary, but if everybody saw the schedule for notification of the year-end schedule and notification of maternity leave approved, for one professional employee, no action again necessary.
Thank you, Mr. Sokol. Thank you.
Thank you.
Budget and Finance, Mr. Smith.
Thank you. First action item here is motion to approve the waiver of school taxes for the above properties as per the request of Cumberland Township Board of Supervisors for tax years 2023 and 2024.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Second one, motion to approve the 2025-2026 Allegheny County School Health Insurance rates as presented.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And the final one, motion to approve the participation in the social media litigation with Mark J. Burns and Partners LLP at no cost to the district.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
That concludes me.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Activities and Athletics, Mr. Pratt.
Motion to approve the request for field trips, item A through D below as presented.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to accept the resignation of Emma Lewis from middle school volleyball coach, concluding the 2025 season.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
That concludes my report.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Pratt. Transportation, Building and Grounds, Mr. May.
Number one, motion to approve the request for facilities items A through D below as presented.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Fieldhouse, motion to temporarily close the Carmichaels Area School District Fieldhouse effective immediately.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions?
I have.
Can we vote
Thousands.
Yeah.
Well, we're not there yet.
Oh, okay.
Any questions?
Yeah.
Okay, my question is that everybody voting on this, I want them to know exactly how this field house came into existence. It was about 30 years ago. It was a community-funded thing. There was a group of people that got together to put this field house in place because we sorely needed it. And the school district did not have the money to pay for it, and the community raised the money. There were guys on it, Dickie Kraus, John Hedder, myself, John Jaswell, Bill Groves, Chip Gas guy, Jerry Margaret McCose, and I can go on and on and on. But there were several community members that did it. And when we did it, there was an agreement made that we would never close the public out of it, that we would have public access. This also wasn't just for the school district. And we actually had the school district lease the property that's on to the quarterback club or the field house committee, and we built it and then we turned it back over to the school. So there wasn't a lot of the school's money involved in that. It was all done by the community. And you know, Mr. Jaswell was our leading figure as far as raising the money, and his ashes are actually buried out there. That's how deeply committed he was to it, that one of his final requests was that some of his ashes be buried in Carmichaels next to that field house. So we opened it to the public, like we said, and I'm going to say this, one of the first people in the public that used that field house was my mother. And she walked on that treadmill many times, and I would be a big hypocrite if I ever voted yes for this. So that's what I have to say.
I have a comment, please. I understand the concerns about safety and the term commingling of the community with the students. What I would ask is, I think this board needs to look at this a little bit more closely. I'm not aware, and I could be wrong, I missed a couple meetings. I don't know what other activities, I don't know what other kinds of options have been presented. I don't know that we pursued this as much as we should have. You can walk up there, and there's a placard up there. Every name under major contributor wrote a check for at least $500. And a number of those people, a lot of those people are still alive, and they support this district in so many ways. And I think if we turn our backs on them and we say, hey, we got your money, you know, I know times have changed. I don't think they've changed in that respect, because there are other things that could be done. Mr. Hess made reference to some ideas. I've already told you, if it's a money thing, I have coaches who are volunteering. We won't have to pay a dime if it comes down to that. We need to keep this open to the community, because I think we're breaking a promise that we made. And I think it's a promise that was made not just from boards in years past, but administrators, all of us who are involved in the project. And it's a pledge we made to the community to try to have something that was special. And it really did become a community field house. And to take the community out of the field house, I think, is just a grave mistake.
Anyone else?
I think the key word here is temporary, until we can get measures in place to make sure that everything is done properly. That's the key word. It's not, doesn't say permanent, it's temporary. And I think taking a temporary action is probably what needs to happen right now until things get straightened out, documents, security, locks, the whole 9 yards, scheduling. Just sometimes it's better to take time out, redo things. Times have changed. So it's up to you. That's it for me.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Buckner. Anyone else?
Yeah, I do.
Go ahead.
You look
I'll
like
go
it
next.
was like on the tip of your tongue. I can see it.
I'll go next.
The reason this is here is, again, from what I understand, a security issue, if that's correct. And again, can we hear from Craig Miller if there's a security issue with this building? Is that something we can do?
I don't know.
I mean, he's in charge of our security, for crying out loud.
Mr. Miller?
Is there an issue with this building?
Chief?
Is there?
So, from a security standpoint, taking out everything that's just been said, from a pure security standpoint, anytime you bring the public onto campus, there is a risk to security. I think we have some measures in place to mitigate those risks. If you have any other specific questions, but I mean.
Wow, that was horrible against the catalog.
Well,
no, but I know what you're saying.
I mean, if you're actually.
There's no such thing as 100% secure. That doesn't exist. I can get on top. I can get on board with that. My question is, do we know who goes in and out? Can we get cameras on these doors to know who's there?
What cost?
So if the procedures that are in place already are followed, no one should be accessing the field house that has not already been vetted and given an access key.
Okay.
So why are those not being followed? And who's allowing them to not be followed?
So my guys are not in charge of the field house. We have other people in charge of supervising that facility. So that would be probably a question better directed towards them.
But you alluded to knowing the policies are not being followed.
I would say if the procedures are followed, that no one is permitted into the field house without an access key showing they've already been properly vetted, then you still have a possibility that our students are intermingling with the public.
There's no such thing as 100% security. Again, I get that. Who's responsible for this building then? If he's not taking care of the security, who is?
Well, I'm not saying I'm not taking care of security.
You know what I meant.
The supervision of the.
Right.
Have there been any like serious events up there to your knowledge recently that like prompted this to come about, other than what the guy down here, but that wasn't a direct?
I mean, I know of several incidents that have occurred up there.
So I have a question. From those incidents, if it was somebody or not following policy or the procedure, do we know if the administration has taken any steps to address discipline or any action for that, not following the procedure?
So my understanding in meeting with Mr. Hess is that Mr. Hess I don't know that he technically was assigned that job, but he oversees the weight room and the public hours, and he works with the gentlemen who oversee the public hours. If there's an incident, he told me that he personally will meet with the person and address the issue. So there was a student issue a while back that the student had relocated to another district and was coming up and bringing additional people from the other district here. Mr. Hess indicated to me that he personally talked to the student, the former student, and told him that that couldn't happen and that no longer could happen. And from what I understand, that student has not been back.
It happened a second time, and I reached out to the principal of that school, and it has not been back since.
So there are procedures. The procedures that they use, they have a card to get in. The person's there. If they come in and they're not on, they don't have a card, there's a sign-in, and they keep that list, and they let them there. And then my understanding, and Mr. Miller, you may correct me if I'm wrong, is that after that first time, there's fill out a form. It goes to you for vetting, and then they get the card if they're approved. It's also my understanding, and again, correct me if I'm wrong because I have limited knowledge, that our policy enables a person to bring a guest.
Yes.
That's part of the problem. The guests are not vetted coming in there. We have to let them in first, then afterwards, when they want to sign up, then we vet them. So that's what I'm saying. It's temporary to get things in place.
But
it needs fixed.
No, and I think I'm sorry, I keep stepping. Go ahead. This is you.
do we or don't we have people from the public in that field house at the same time that we have our students in there? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
I'd say if there's a time set aside for the public, but we don't keep the students out.
Students can come in,
The students
yeah.
can come in, we don't keep them out.
Just like they could go to
But-
Planet Fitness if their parents let them, like.
But the public cannot go in there during the student hours.
Right.
Do we have the public here in that field house outside of those hours? Yes or no?
Not that I'm aware of. Their key card is set up. Mr. Franks, you could probably.
It's time sensitive, so.
It's time sensitive.
Their key card is, only allows them access to the building during the public hours.
And we've never seen a
However-
situation where that door is propped open, somebody comes, somebody opens it because they knock. I'm not asking the policy, I'm asking in
You're
non-public times, do we have people from the public in that field house with our students? Yes or no?
Steve, you want to answer that?
I don't know what time the hours are. What time's the hours, public hours?
4:30 to 6 or something like that.
4:30 to 6:30.
4:30 to 6:30.
And Saturday mornings from 8:30 to 10:30.
But like, I think we should remove the notion that it's a financial decision. It's not a financial decision. There's not enough spend, like, you know, that's not the concern here. The concern here is, I'm hearing people talk about the policy, and believe me, I don't want to shut the field house down. I'm a jock, like, you know what I mean? I don't want that to happen, but, you know, we just had an issue at a school, you know, I don't know where it was at, but we just had a shooting at a school. We had our own issue here, like, everybody's like, oh yeah, well, nothing happened. Well, until it does, you know what I mean? Like, you can't play with that, and now, I mean, there's a negligence factor to it. We've had an issue here. We see issues at other schools. We're now openly talking about this, as much as I don't care to, but it's like, somebody's got to answer the question. I don't care what the policies are. Are the policies working? Is somebody enforcing them? If not, why? But somebody's got to answer this question. Outside of public hours, do we have the public in this building? Yes or no?
Not that I'm aware of. In my conversation with Mr. Hess, he indicated that the public's there from from 4:30 to 6:30. I personally cannot tell you, I'm not physically here. I can only tell you what he reported to me. He reported to me that they have the sign in and that he goes over that policy with the two people that work there. And when they're not able to be there, he fills in for them. But I have to take him at face value because I personally am not there.
Well, if nobody's aware of any violation and there's no interaction, how did it get on this list? Like, of all the stuff going on in this district, how did this get here?
That's my question. I'm there as much as anybody because of being a baseball coach. I also have a group I work out with on Saturday mornings. I'm there constantly. And there's not this commingling that keeps coming up. I just don't see it.
What I don't like about it is, outside of the brief conversation here, I've not heard from our chief. I've not heard from the athletic director. I've not heard from the superintendent. Like, if this is an issue, I'll certainly be part of a solution, but...
Can I interject something? Because it was my committee, I did talk to the athletic director. I talked to Mr. Hess. I talked to Mr. Miller. I talked to
Brian.
Mr. Kroll. That might be all I talked to. And my understanding was that it's not a big issue and that the intermingling comes from the students coming there during public hours, not the public coming during student hours. For instance, if Mr. Kraus wants to use the batting cage and it was raining or whatever, he feels free to come up during public hours and use the batting cage, while people from the public they're not using a batting cage, obviously, they're in the weight room, but he'll bring his team up there, and I believe Mr. Kroll does the same thing. If he has kids he wants to do weightlifting coach, I don't know if it's the right word or not, infringe on the public's time. It's not the other way around. That was my understanding, and like I say, those are the people I talked to. So I can only say, that's all I can tell you.
And the reason it made it onto the agenda is because at the Building and Grounds Committee, they asked for us to put it on the agenda for a vote.
And if I remember correctly, Mr. Hess monitors during the students' hours, is that correct? But then we have a student monitoring during the adult hours? Like, how does that work?
We have we have an employee that, Jacob Smith, that we hired, and then there was another one, he's still there, but he resigned. Penich, yeah.
Okay.
So we pay them, and they have their clearances in there. And then we also have a volunteer we also have a volunteer that works up there as well. And I want to say Halfway is the last name, but I'm not 100% sure.
Is Valencia still coming on?
Yeah.
I do not believe Mr. Valencia is here.
He subs, but he's not there.
Yeah, that's what.
So what do we do in those moments then? So you want to bring the baseball team up to use the cages, and it's public hours.
We just close the doors. We're in the cage. We don't go to the weight room.
And you're always physically there.
And that's the other part, you know, just like with softball or baseball, when our kids are in there and it's organized team activities, we have coaches everywhere. There's nobody going near our kids. Our kids are safer then than they are in any other, there's no, I mean, other than, and the only time we could have a kid walk to a water fountain, and there's a coach that goes with him. So if they go through those doors, there's a coach that goes with him.
And
Where that
the
should go.
batting cage is off, to the public, it's off limits.
The
So-
exception of that being the restrooms.
Do Little League teams use the batting cage at all? Any outside?
They have to
They
request
have to
facilities.
request a facility.
And outside of your deserved general paranoia about the public coming into the school grounds, do you have issue with this field house outside of that general paranoia, which is deservedly so? I don't say that to be disparaging.
Other than, as long as the procedures are followed that are there to mitigate those circumstances, then again, outside of the general public accessing the school and increases security risk.
Sure.
But other than that, as long as the procedures are followed, that should mitigate any issues.
And somebody said that the policy does say that you can bring a guest. Is that true?
That's my understanding.
So if the policy needs, looked at to make the verbiage cleaner and safer to understand, then can we get a group of us together and maybe include Mr. Miller and Mr. Hess, since he's there quite a bit with it, to revisit that, to freshen it?
Well, Jackie, my thought right now is that we can either table this and come back and vote on it next month, and now that all these questions have been asked, we get together and we do something real quick. Or you can close it, and that's going to take a roll call vote. We could have a roll call vote, we can close it and do the same thing, and then reopen it after we fix what we feel is broken. So
Exactly.
that's where we're at right now.
I have one last question. I think I'm satisfied. I know changing policy takes multiple meetings, is that?
2 months.
Right. Do we have emergency powers for safety reasons that could override that in any way, Mike? I know I'm directed directly at you, but.
In terms of like a policy that we have within the district?
Right, like in this scenario where you're saying, hey, the board as a whole feels it's unsafe to bring anybody in that's not vetted, instead of it having to go through 2 meetings and stuff like that, that would allow this process to continue to take place, could we vote on it immediately? And just say we want to change the policy immediately?
1 minute.
Okay.
She's checking right now.
Okay.
She's checking the policy.
Okay.
It might just be a procedure that's been, a directive that was put in place by the last board. I'm not sure. So,
One final question.
Yes, sir.
When you say the policies, if they're followed, do you feel that the statements on this end of the room are correct, that it's our own students that are violating that policy coming in during public hours, or do you feel that there is also the community coming in during the student non-public hours?
I would say both.
Okay. And my question is, why does this side of the room not say that? So I'll address that over to this side of the room.
Specific, I don't even know if I followed you.
He just said that the community is coming in during our students' hours, but this side of the table said, no, that does not happen.
I'd
It's the
like to
only
know
other way
when that
around.
happens then. If you're saying that happens.
And I'm not trying to
No,
create a
I'm not
situation,
either.
but
I'm not either. I
there's
just
a
want to
lot
know
of
when it happens.
interest over
There
here, and
is.
I want,
There's 2 sides of the story, isn't there? Yeah, I get it. That's why, when is the problem
So-
time?
So my response to that question was, is it a student-generated issue, or is it a public-generated issue? And my response is it's both. So, we would have, students will go in during public hours, that absolutely happens. And then there are members of the public that are not following the procedure that's in place.
So they go in between whatever, what time's Hess's hours? 2 and 4, let's just say 3 and 4, 3rd.
Correct.
They go in there during that.
During the public hours, yes.
No, the public
during
goes
the
in
student
between 3 and 4:30.
I got 2 people at once. So your question was,
So
people,
we need
public
to
is
have
going in
public
during
people-
student hours. I am not aware of that, other than the batting cage issues. My response was, we do have members of the public not following the procedure as well, as far as bringing people in that are not vetted.
Oh, okay, but not going in during the, with
The key
with
card will
Hess.
not access the
Mr. Hess.
facility outside of public hours.
Right, okay. You find anything?
I do not see a quote-unquote policy in our policy manual, so it was probably a procedure, but I will have to look. If it's just a procedure, we can change the
Yeah, you can
procedure.
change that.
You don't need 2 meetings. I'm not seeing it on here
Yeah.
as a policy.
Any other
What's
questions?
our AD say?
We can always implement a policy after we establish the procedure, so it's set forth and the public has access.
Right, yeah,
when
no, I
they review
agree,
the policies moving forward.
Does the administration know the opinion of the athletic director on the field house?
Didn't you talk to him,
I
Lou?
did.
He
I
said he
called him.
talked to him.
What did he say?
He said he didn't think it was a big problem. He said, it would make my job easier if they closed the field house down, but I don't think that needs to happen. He says, I don't have any real big issues up there or problems with it. That was just, he says if it needs to be fixed, it needs to be fixed, but he says, I haven't found any problems with it. And he's there a lot because he's a baseball coach.
Any other questions or comments?
I say we vote on it, we do.
Okay.
I have no idea what we're voting on. I get the question, I have no idea why.
Table it, somebody can make a motion.
You know, we can make a motion to table, or we can vote on closing the field house temporarily until we make
I'll
some
rescind
adjustments.
my motion if you want to make me to make a motion to table that.
It's up to you.
When does the field house shut down for renovations?
We don't know exactly, but it's going to be a period of 2 to 3 weeks in a period of about 2 weeks or so, according to the project manager named Glenn from G&W Roofing.
Okay.
So it's going to be a couple weeks.
So within a 2-week period, that field house will be shutting down for another 2 to 3 week period?
Yes, somewhere in that. They have not given me a concrete, but based on their 2 to 3 week lead time for material, that would put us in another week and a half.
Okay.
One of the things that has been, I pulled a report from our Verkada access, and I took a snapshot of last month. Last month, there were 17 public card users that had regularly used the field house during the authorized times. Those 17 card uses resulted in 1,000, roughly, I don't have the numbers right in front of me, 1,000 reads of the card. Card unlocks the door, door is opened, door is relocked, door is closed. 4 events happen for every use of the card. The total number of times the door was opened is monitored by a separate switch. More than twice as many times the door was opened than was opened by a card. That is a curious situation.
No, it's not. No, that's not of us. That's coaches who have keys. I mean, we're going into that field
Yeah,
house.
it's called forced entry when you use a key. There's nothing wrong with it, it's just not the card.
That sounds illegal.
No, well.
Turn yourself in, do the right thing.
When did you do this? What month
Is there
was
still
this?
Last
keys,
month.
Mike, it just
Yeah,
like
see-
there's still
see,
physical
you're-
keys to that field house?
You're talking about March. We're inside as much as we're outside, so.
Right, well, I
we're in
couldn't
there
explain it.
constantly.
We don't have cameras to know who does this,
Yeah.
you know.
You're not watching me all the time after all. But no, that's why, because coaches are in there constantly, so, you know,
No,
you have soft.
but I think this is the exact same reason why we're having the conversation, which is, if we have a card reader on that door, why in God's name are there physical keys anywhere? Give everybody a card reader, we know who goes where and who does what. How hard is that?
It's a good idea.
We just approved that last meeting.
What's that?
We just
Is there
approved that at the
a
last meeting.
card reader that
Field house
you
has been there
can
for
use
30
24
years,
hours?
you know what I mean, like-
No,
It's specific, like he can't be,
Dave can
Limited.
set
You
them up
know,
by user, correct?
Honestly, why do we use keys?
Chief Miller, right? You
Cards
can
didn't
set,
always work.
you guys can set the cards up for hours per person on the card, correct?
Yes, there's
So
different
coaches
levels of
could have
security on it.
essentially
24
24 hours if
Yeah.
you set their card up when you gave it to them,
Right.
correct?
Yeah, cards don't always work. Part of the problem.
Anything else? Okay, we have a motion, we have a second, we had a question or two.
I did say I will rescind my motion if we want to table this. Is there any interest in that?
Wishes of the board.
Oh, all right. The motion's there, I say you vote on it.
Okay.
Okay,
I agree.
roll call, please.
Dr. Kraus?
No,
Mrs. Kroll?
No.
Mr. May?
No.
Mr. Pratt?
No.
Ms. Shoup?
No.
Mr. Smith?
No.
Mr. Sokol?
No.
Mr. Buckton?
Yes.
And Mr. Menhart?
No.
1 yes and remaining no, so motion fails.
Can
No.
I say something to this?
Me too. Go ahead, you say it. I'm going to say the same thing.
This field house is shutting down for 2 to 3 weeks.
Fix it.
I would absolutely love to see a comprehensive policy put in place for this field house that has a zero tolerance to it. But somebody's got to be responsible to be the actual authoritative figure over it. And I don't know that that's been displayed here tonight at all.
It's a good point.
That was you were gonna
That-
say. You
my
said it was
point.
gonna be the same thing.
What's that?
You said it was gonna be exactly the same thing.
Yeah, so I'm not going to say anything. Okay, next. Mountain
Okay.
State.
Next one, number 3, motion to approve the service agreement with Mountain State Waste as presented.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions?
I have a question, Dave, did we bid this, or did we bid this out amongst companies? That's,
No, we have not.
okay,
No, we have not.
We're not required to bid it, but we did not quote it.
okay, all right, that's all.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So,
Motion to accept the proposal from Skelly and Loy to provide AHEAR reinspection services as presented, and I believe that deals with our asbestos, and it's required.
Okay, do we have a second? Any questions? Any questions? Second?
I'll second.
I knew Brian. Yeah, pay attention this time. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to approve service agreement with Combustion Services and Equipment Company as presented.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to recall Tracy McCann, custodial employee from furlough, effective April 22nd, 2025.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, any questions? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kroll?
Yes.
Mr. May?
Yes.
Mr. Pratt?
Yes.
Ms. Shoup?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Sokol?
Yep.
Mr. Buckton?
Yes.
Dr. Kraus?
yes.
And Mr. Menhart?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And I believe that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. May.
I think they all opposed.
Curriculum and instruction, Mrs. Kroll.
Motion to approve the application for flexible instruction days for submission to the Pennsylvania Department of Education as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second,
Any questions?
I have a question. I'm not a fan of flexible instruction days, but they were sold to us a few years ago because of the need for them. When we had COVID, they worked really well. I don't think they work as, they may be necessary at some point, but they're for emergencies. So is this something, how many do we have? And is this something, I was a little perturbed this time because the first day we had bad weather, we used a flex day, or whatever it is, flexible instruction day. And my feeling was that they were supposed to be used for emergencies only. And I thought we could have gone through the year, maybe went to school on President's Day or something, and it would have been a much better instructional time than you get out of these flexible instruction days. So I didn't know if there are a number that we're approving, or if we use them.
It's
It's five.
It's five.
It's five.
Okay. And
And we used 4 this year, and we did go to school on President's Day,
And we're making one up.
Tuesday.
Yeah, we're making Tuesdays.
My concern was it was the first one, we used the first one. It was like, you know, I thought we would save those for the end, that's all. So that's just me.
Any other questions?
No, no.
Jamie second. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
We need a motion for the payment of the bills in the amount of $1,184,704.60 as
Yep.
presented.
We have that motion.
So moved.
We have a second.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor? We need a roll call, Mike. Okay, we need a roll call.
Mr. May?
Yes.
Mr. Pratt?
Yes.
Ms. Shoup?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Sokol?
Yes.
Mr. Buckton?
Yes.
Dr. Kraus?
Yes.
Ms. Kroll?
Yes.
And Mr. Menhardt?
Yes.
Motion carries. We also need a motion to approve the Secretary Treasurer and other financial reports as presented.
We have that motion. Second.
Second. Dan.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
That concludes my report, although I will answer the question that Ms. Smith we did send home a letter to the students in relation to spraying on the,
At elementary
at the
students?
elementary students.
And
Yes.
we do get letters for lice because I've gotten a couple throughout the year this year just because I'm in the system for my kids. So that comes around every once in a while.
So
they do still?
Yes,
Yeah, I've
they
gotten a
send it
couple
up.
this year.
It's a Department of Health requirement.
Yes.
That was done in-
Okay, well, we won't have an answer next month. Okay,
That concludes my report.
other reports, federal programs.
Mrs. Sacco has attached the federal programs report to the board docs that you can review.
Legislative report, Mrs. Shoup, nothing to report?
Nothing to report.
Thank you. Public relations, anyone have anything for public relations?
I did want to say that the pre-K packets and information for that is going to go out next week.
Comprehensive plan, Representative Mrs. Shoup,
I have nothing to report.
thank you. Mr. May, we know you have a report. CTC.
Okay, I was unable to attend the meeting on Wednesday, but I did go to open house, which is on Thursday. They had their open house, and it went very well. I'm always proud of that place also. It seems to get better every time we have an open house, so.
Okay, thank you.
It went very well.
What's this last one?
That's just an informational item for the enrollment reports that we always have in the packet.
Okay.
We just need to adjourn.
Okay, I have one other thing for the members of the board. Chief Miller does have a written safety report that he won't release publicly, but if you want to see it, talk to him.
It's
Okay.
the results of our risk and vulnerability assessment that was done by the Pennsylvania State Police and Federal.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion to adjourn. Wait, do we adjourn? We're going to meet about, Michael, do we adjourn? Or do we stay?
Well, we just have to announce there's going to be an executive meeting that will follow. Executive session.
So we're going to adjourn?
Yeah.
Okay. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.